say I'm thrilled to be here in Puerto Rico. I love it here. You guys have been awesome. I've been treated so well. Everyone's been so kind to me, and I'm really, really excited. I had no idea Dragon Ball Z was so popular here. So.
Sean, you have no clue.
I guess I don't.
Welcome to Puerto Rico, buddy.
Thank you. So I just wanted to start out by saying that, and basically this is just an open-ended Q&A. So, and I apologize to the vendors that you're going to be hearing my voice for the next hour, but sorry, that's the only room we had, a big one. So anyway, let's see. Hands for the first question. Hands for that, right here.
Who's your favorite Dragon Ball Z villain and why?
My favorite Dragon Ball Z. The question is, who is my favorite Dragon Ball Z villain and why? Do you want to, after questions are asked, do you want?
¿Quieren que conteste en inglés o quieren que yo les traduzca? English.
Okay.
Full English, man. Okay. Go ahead.
Wait. So my favorite Dragon Ball Z villain and why? Well, you know, Vegeta's a popular favorite. But he's not really a villain in the sense that he becomes good, you know, slowly. And I'm a huge Piccolo fan, who is also not really a villain. He is in the beginning. So if I were going to pick the main villains, you know, the androids, it's so hard for me to pick because the android saga is, they're very creepy and very dark. I love the Cell saga because of the Goku, Gohan moments, etc., etc. And Boo is hysterical. So, yeah, I'm gonna say generally Android, you know, Cell saga and Dr. Gero is a really creepy, twisted. I mean, you know, they're ripping out Yamcha's heart right there. Just, you know, they're pulling it right out. So that was real. When I first saw that, I went, "Whoa! These guys aren't messing around." So. That would be my long answer, which I tend to give long answers, so I apologize. Let's see, who's next? Hands. Okay, right here with the queen hat, the hat, the crown.
In any anime series that you have done so far, what is the most frustrating language that you have to deal with?
Frustrating language that I have to deal with? Line. Well, you know. This is a two-part answer. When you're dubbing anime, one of the things that can be frustrating is we have to match the mouth movements, right? So if we do a line and I do it the way I want to do it, and then it's too long, they make me shorten it in terms of my timing, and that affects the emotional content of it. So I have to find a way to make it fit emotionally within that short frame of time and still have the same amount of power and meaning. So. That's a general frustration with anime. In terms of lines, it's really never badly written dialogue. I love writers, and badly written dialogue pisses me off because if it is good dialogue, man, my job is so easy. I know exactly how to do it. It's wonderful. If it's bad writing, I get so frustrated. And as I've done the character for so long, the writing has actually gotten way better. But even then, they'll still give me some leeway if I don't like it because you kind of own the character after 12, 13 years of doing it. So they'll eventually let me just kind of do what I want. My favorite jobs, I did a show called Thumb Wrestling Federation where I played 12 different thumbs. They let me ad-lib anything I want. They just, you know, they say, just do whatever you want, be funny. And I'm like, yes, that's what I want to do. So, you know, those are my general frustrations with that. It's a very good question. Let's find someone else. Right here.
What advice can you give to people that want to go into voice acting and work on animation?
The question is, what are people who want to get into voice acting and animation, correct? So like, how do you want to do it? Well, here's the deal. You're in Puerto Rico, you know, if there's voice acting here, hey, great. But the first piece of advice I give people is, you got to move to where the work is. I currently live in the New York area. I'm actually considering going to LA because there's even more work there. And I've been working in New York for about 10 years. Also studying acting. The operative word in voice acting is acting. If you can do a bunch of wacky voices and can't act, you ain't working. I happen to be gifted to be able to do a lot of different voices, and if I couldn't act, I wouldn't get work. I know another actress friend of mine who only does about 4 or 5 voices, and she works just as much as I do because she's a really good actress. So the bottom line is acting. Study acting, study the craft. Now, little funny tips and tricks, the way I got good at voices, I started doing voices as a very small boy, and I would do mimicry all the time, always doing impressions, and not being scared and not being worried about offending people. I didn't care, and I made a lot of people very angry. And I still had a habit up into my 20s and 30s. I still had a habit of meeting someone if they had a unique way of talking, just to mimic them instantly. And then I realized I was offending people, so I didn't stop. I just did anyway. No, but and so training your voice to do different voices, but you don't want to. If you make a voiceover demo, if you can do a good Homer Simpson, you don't want to put that on your demo because it seems amateurish. But practicing that impression to train the acrobatics of your voice, yes, that's really good. Studying acting, developing different vocal characterizations. Michael Winslow, was in the Police Academy movies. I had the pleasure of meeting him. And I don't do a lot of the voices he did, but what he taught me when I was watching his movies is how far the human voice could go. So I'd be watching the movies, and I couldn't do a lot of those special effects. I couldn't do a lot of that, but I'd try. And in the act of trying, I stretched my voice and was able to wrap my head around different ideas and different ways of thinking about voices. I also study, when I'm developing a character, I study physiology and bone structure, and does it look like that sound is coming out of the mouth of that character that's designed. And there's a lot of detail that goes into, if I'm doing a monster like this, then it better look like the monster drawn. He's got a little mouth, or if they got a big nose, or whatever the dimensions are. I'm very detailed as about how that sounds, and then you have to mix that craft with acting, and that comes greater than the sum of its parts, and then you become awesome, hopefully. So that's what I'm hoping for when I try. I'm trying to be awesome. So let's see. Let me get somebody in the back. Way back there. Don't worry, I'll get to you guys. We got a lot of time here. Right behind the queen. Yeah, no, I'm talking to you right now. You got glasses on and you're behind the queen girl who's got the crown on.
When did you first hear about Dragon Ball?
Then the audition. And by the way, I know I talk very fast, and even my friends back home were like, "You talk way too fast." So if I'm talking too fast or anything, let me know if whatever, because it drives people crazy. I was a fan of anime in general before I saw Akira. I saw Ninja Scroll. I was kind of getting into it. Classic stuff, and I love anime. It's probably my favorite animation genre. And then I saw the open casting call, and then I started watching it like crazy to get ready for the audition. But all the episodes I was watching was just Gohan and Piccolo hanging out, and I'm like, there's only 2 characters in this show. I'm not going to get either of these parts, And I just was watching like crazy, getting ready for the role, for the audition. And I had not heard of it until that point, and I wish I had, because it's a timeless story of the Great Journey West and the Legend of the Monkey King. And those are, ancient mythos or mythos, if that's the plural, I don't know, are really interesting to me. So I'm very honored to play that legendary character. It is absolutely, I don't think, no matter what I do in my career, even if I don't know, did some crazy awesome movie or whatever, Dragon Ball Z will always be the coolest thing I've ever done, I think. I mean, I'm sure I want to do other stuff and I want to make a living as an actor, but still, it's just got this special place, It was my first audition, so I feel very lucky. I'm a very lucky person. Yes, right here, yeah. Or wait, Naruto? Yeah, Naruto, right here. We're gonna get over here. I'm gonna come to you, cat guy. Okay.
What's your favorite Dragon Ball Z movie and why?
Well, I love these questions. It's like you guys just got back from school. What's your favorite thing and why? I love it. I like the Cooler movie and the Frieza Cooler stuff. I did like Lord Slug quite a bit, and I did enjoy the Broly movie only because Goku punches Broly in the stomach and then twists his fist and rips his guts apart, and that was like the only reason. I'm like, if you can punch somebody in the stomach and twist your fist and rip their guts apart, that alone was worth the price of admission. I was like, that is so cool. I got to see that when I first watched it. I hadn't seen the movie, and we were watching it, and then I saw that scene at the end. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to do that. So when we recorded. But as far as storyline, the whole Frieza Cooler's Revenge, etc., I think why? I think it's because Goku and Vegeta are really in big trouble. And I think the fecal matter has hit the fan, so to speak, and the android and alien. I don't know. I can't really talk about the story in great detail because I don't remember the exact storyline. I just remember thinking, this is my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie. When I was watching it. I mean, so I can't really give you a good why. Because keep in mind, I started recording this in 1999, and we finished probably in 2004 5 or I don't know 6. I don't know when we finished, and then we did Kai recently. So we just finished Kai. So the Dragon Ball Z story is still pretty fresh in my mind. And we don't get scripts in advance, and we don't memorize our lines. We just show up to work, and they go, get in the booth. Here's what's happening in the scene. Beep, 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 go. And that's it. You know, and you better be on your toes. You got to work fast. All right, I'm gonna get told.
You also did the opening, right, for Kai?
I sang the opening theme song for Kai for the DVD. Yeah, I did. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a baritone, and the guy who sings that in Japanese is a tenor, so I was really trying to match that, you know? That's right at the edge of my range, so I was working really hard to try to honor that recording. Excuse me. Okay, guy.